Nottingham Trent University, working with you. Proud sponsors of Working Week.
On Working Week this week, we are at the Nottingham Cafe. See what I did there? With a difference.
That's very good. I'm lost for words, actually. Yeah, this is the Kitty Café, and it's full of cats. We'll be getting our claws into what goes on here. What do you think of that?
I like that one. I like it a lot.
The cats, they're just cuddly and cute, and why would you not want to stroke a cat whilst you eat?
They won't perform for the camera, cats, by the way, but I've just realised you were whistling the theme tune to Top Cat.
I certainly was.
Very subtle, very subtle. Talking of top cats.
Yeah, from top cats to top businesses, we'll be looking at the 200 top businesses in Nottinghamshire. I nearly made a catastrophe out of that, didn't I?
It is, yeah.
The East Midlands and Nottinghamshire have been one of the powerhouses of the UK economy over the past few years. And when you see the number of companies and their profile, I think you understand why.
Now that's a nice one, isn't it? And away from the cats, we'll be looking at Nottingham's growing reputation in the film and TV industry at present, company accepted, I think, Des, it's fair to say, with the firm that's making a profit out of doing makeup, and some of it is pretty gruesome.
I've got something in the eye. Oh. It's only me.
Hello, I'm Rob Pitton.
And I am the inimitable Des Coleman.
Inimitable?
Yeah.
I've heard you called many things, but not inimitable.
I don't know what it means. I have no idea at all. Welcome, Pat, to a brand new series of Working Week.
And it's fantastic to be here just as the phone rings, but luckily someone's going to get that. As you can see, we're at the Kitty Café, which is a great place to start a new series. We'll be finding out exactly what goes on here. There are cats everywhere here, around 30 in total, and don't worry, they're all completely house trained and have their own rest area behind a wall. Owner Kate Charles Richards set up the business on Friar Lane. It's her first venture in the world of cats and coffee. We'll hear more from her later in the programme, but the aim is to cater for cat lovers and food lovers too. Many of the staff are trained experts in animal behaviour, and that's because there's a serious side to this business. It runs as a cat rescue and rehoming operation. The cats here have been homeless, strays, or have medical problems, and many are up for adoption.
They've all got their own individual personalities and characters. They're all so unique, and we love them to bits. We're all very protective over them.
Yeah, it's great. I love working here.
Why?
I don't know, it's just a really awesome job. It's all the people are really nice, and it really cheers you up always being surrounded by the cats as well. So yeah, it's really nice.
There are some rules. Cats can't be picked up and you can't give them food. It's thriving as an eating venue too, proving a big hit with customers in Nottingham, but the cats are the main attraction.
I've been a cat lover for quite a while, and there's just been nothing like this before, so we thought we'd give it a go and see what it's like.
We saw it advertised on Facebook, and then we love cats, so we just thought, why not?
And what do you think of the place?
It's really nice, yeah, it's really welcoming as well. Obviously we've never been before, but now I think we'll definitely come again.
And some customers can even find themselves working here.
I think it's great here. I was a customer before I worked here and really liked it, so yeah, really happy.
There's a guy called Victor Kayam. He says he says, "Oh, I liked it so much I bought the company." You sound like that. You were a customer before and then you came and worked here.
Yeah, just haven't brought any of the company.
The Kitty Café is drawing customers in from as far away as Stockport. It's one of the first of its kind in the world, and if it's a success here, cat cafes could be popping up all over the country.
And without a doubt, this episode, this show is going to be perfect.
I can't take you seriously with those on your head.
What's wrong? Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's kind of destroying the credibility a little bit because I'm introducing a very serious piece next. This is about the top 200 businesses in Nottinghamshire. See if you can guess, by the way, which is number one. I think most people can come up with that. But the Nottingham Post has been coming up, it's been compiling a list of the top companies in the county and had an awards ceremony to present them, and they got someone really good to present it.
What, me?
No, me. Welcome to the launch of the Nottingham Post's top 200 companies in Nottinghamshire. In a moment we'll be finding out who's the highest riser and which is the biggest firm in the county, and we've literally got a front row seat. Some of the biggest names in the region's business community were at the Crown Plaza Hotel, drawn, we like to think, by the quality of the presenter. It's the first time a list has been compiled of the biggest businesses in Nottinghamshire. It was drawn up by the Nottingham University Business School.
Well, we know that the East Midlands and Nottinghamshire have been one of the powerhouses of the UK economy over the past few years. And when you see the number of companies and their profile, I think you understand why. There's 50,000 companies on Companies House which are based in Nottinghamshire. So it's not just the larger companies, there's a whole range of small family-owned firms. It's very gratifying to see the big range of companies across financial sectors, retail, very common, but also high-tech sectors too, really contributing to the Nottinghamshire economy, but also to the global economy in terms of exports.
The research was commissioned by the Nottingham Post, which hosted the event.
There's a lot of interest in the results of this listing. It's hugely interesting. We've got a great spread of different companies and who are not only based in the city but all the way across the county. Very interesting read.
It's the first time you've done this, isn't it?
It's the first time we've done this publication, yes. We felt that the time was right to celebrate business here in Nottinghamshire and to celebrate its business success.
And I know you told me a few minutes ago you lost a lot of sleep last night wondering about how this might go. It's gone really well, hasn't it?
Yes, so far, yes. Very pleased with the turnout. A lot of people here this morning have come out to get a copy first-hand of the new publication that's available within the Nottingham Post, and we'll also be handing out a couple of awards to the biggest company, highest riser and new entry.
So the highest climber, the winner is Recresco.
And so to the awards. The highest climber was Recresco, a Kirkby and Ashfield firm which carries out recycling for local authorities around the country. Sadly, Recresco can't be here this morning. I've always wanted to say that at the award ceremony, actually. I quite enjoyed that. But Simon Gray from Nottingham Means Business is going to take the award on their behalf. If the list had been compiled last year, it would have been 199th, but it came in this year at 83rd, after more than doubling its turnover.
I'm delighted to announce that the highest new entry, the winner is Home Energy Services.
The highest new entry was Home Energy Services, a management buyout from the energy company E.ON, which runs boiler and central heating installation, repairs and maintenance. It came in at number 110 with a turnover of £28 million. And the largest company in Notts, well, no prizes for guessing, the £7 billion a year giant Boots. The Nottinghamshire Top 200 is sponsored by KPMG.
I think there's a real need to celebrate local business success, everything that business does for the community as a whole in terms of job creation, in terms of giving young people their first start in life, wealth back into the local economy. And I don't think business is very good really at kind of publicising that. We kind of a little bit quiet about that sometimes. So I think things like the Top 200 guide gives us a real opportunity to celebrate local business success, so we're delighted to be involved.
What does it tell us about the state of business in Nottinghamshire then?
So I think there's a real growth story in there, and this is the first time the guide has been published, but Nottingham University have done the analysis based on last year, what the equivalent figures would have been for last year as well. So there's some fantastic growth stories in there.
So the first ever list of Nottinghamshire's top 200 companies is now officially out. And as we've heard, some familiar names right at the top, but even if you go down to number 200 with Canai International, they've got a turnover of £16 million. The Nottingham Post hopes that this will be a celebration of the strength of Nottingham's business community and a snapshot of the state of our economy. It's a fascinating read, this, and obviously the event was expertly presented. But to find out a bit more about the detail of this, I'm joined by Richard Baker, who's the business editor of the Nottingham Post. And Richard, as I say, some really interesting stuff here. Boots at the top, well, you might expect that, but some big names just below them. What does it tell us about business life in Nottinghamshire then?
Well, it tells us a slightly different story about big business. Everybody has an opinion about big business, largely based on the fact that they think it's full of fat cats who pay themselves fortunes. Now, we have got some big businesses in the top 200, no question about it. You mentioned some of them, but there are also some interesting stories behind them that together these businesses contribute something like 30 billion a year to the Notts economy. They employ 200,000 people, so they play a massive part in the lives of all of us in this county.
People are going to see some of the top names, well-known names, but there's some surprises in here, aren't there? There's things like school academies and school trusts and care homes too.
Well, there's a lot of money in education, there's a lot of money in looking after people as they're getting older, and there are some fascinating names that maybe people didn't realise were anchored here in Nottinghamshire. You've got Centre Parks, for example. Everybody loves a holiday. The business that delivers that holiday is based up in Ollerton. You've got Benoy, an international architect responsible for some fabulous buildings in Hong Kong and in China. You've even got Barcode Warehouse, a business that started out in a shed in Newark. These days it turns over £34 million a year.
And do you think people will get inspiration from this? You know, people setting up in business that they can go on to make these fortunes?
Well, they are. Maybe we're not doing so badly after all. But the thing is that these are not necessarily businesses that are sort of global names. At the heart of our economy is local companies run by local people, and they're doing a really, really good job.
And I tell you what actually surprised me about this, right in the bottom there, the bottom 5 of the 200, Nottingham Forest. Hope that's not an omen.
Football's a great game, but it's not an easy business, and you need wealthy people who are willing to take a bit of a hit sometimes. That the Forest is lucky in that it's got obviously the Kuwaiti businessman Fawaz Al-Hussawi, who's sort of running the show these days. Before that it had Nigel Doughty, who was willing to bankroll the business. Not an easy place to make money, football.
More losers than winners, really.
Could be.
That's it for now, but coming up we'll be looking at the company that does makeup for the TV industry.
If you've got the imagination, you've got the skill, you can do whatever you want. You look at all the films that come out nowadays, a lot of stuff is CGI, but a lot of films are still using prosthetic pieces.
And we'll be finding out what's being done to help businesses grow here in Nottinghamshire.
Most businesses sometimes need a bit of help with strategy to grow, so the Business Growth Service can offer help and consultancy in making sure you've got the right strategy at the right time for your business.
And we've got an interview with the owners of this wonderful place, the Kitty Café.
I'm looking forward to that.
A lot of people think I'm insane, to be honest, but hey, who minds about being insane when you've got cats?
Nottingham Trent University, proud sponsors of Working Week. Nottingham Trent University, proud sponsors of Working Week.
Welcome back to Working Week, and it occurs to me, by the way, Des, that we're only halfway into our new series and we're already sat down in a cafe having a cup of tea. You all right there, mate? You look a bit tired.
Sorry, mate, I was just having a bit of a cat nap.
I can only apologise about this. He thinks he's getting paid per pun, but we're not getting paid at all, actually, is the truth we have. But coming up in this half, we'll be looking at attempts to help businesses grow here in Nottingham.
Absolutely hundreds of different events that people can pick up, whether that's the basics of starting a business, whether that's technical stuff about taking your business forward.
And the subject that's dear to my heart, the film industry, will be looking, or I'll be taking a look at a company that does makeup for it.
Very nice.
We've done all sorts of TV and film makeup. We've had the British Film Institute asking for samples. We've had lots of stuff going on. It's really exciting.
And we'll be finding out more about the Kitty Café from the woman who came up with the idea in the first place. And you have to wonder what kind of evil genius thought of this place.
As long as we're here for the cats and the cats are well looked after and the customers well looked after, then we're happy.
All that to come, and first up, Des has been off to see a company that does makeup for the film and TV industry, and some of it's quite spectacular, isn't it, Des?
It certainly is. I forgot to use the strainer in my tea.
Oh no, you'd be spitting that out for hours now. Oh, can't take him anywhere.
I'm in Nottingham city centre. You can see the hustle and bustle of city life behind me. I'm at the offices of Fake Up. It's a new company that is making huge inroads in the world of TV special effects. Come with me and let's find out what they do. It's only me. Were you worried? No, I don't think you were. This is Steve. Steve,
hi.
You're the man behind the magic.
I'm part of the man behind the magic, obviously.
How did this all start?
This all started about 5 or 6 months ago. I've been working with Josie. We were working on some short films together. I mainly make films, but then we decided that we wanted to do the makeup behind it as well because it was proving really expensive. And we also found a lot of students that wanted to work with us as well that said they couldn't afford the materials. So we thought, well, let's start making the materials at cost that they can actually afford to get into the business themselves.
So, do you have to be an artist?
Yes, you do, because it's a lot to do with blending the actual skin tones and actually getting the pores right and everything like that. You can't just put something flat on the skin, it's going to look like you're an android. You want a skin tone, you want something that's going to be able to blend into the skin and look like it's naturally there and it hasn't just been slapped on.
So, Josie, your specialism is aesthetics.
Yes. I do a lot of the painting and the casting with the gelatine before we then sell them on. Okay, so we've got the different skin tones of gelatine that we make, one with capillaries, zombie, and Got a light and medium skin tone there.
And what do you do with those?
Once you've got the gelatine, you can then melt it down, a bit like this. It takes a few seconds to melt in a microwave. And then you pour it into a cast. And scrape it off.
How long does that then take to set?
Minute, 2 minutes. To get the gelatine out of the mould, it looks something like this. We then just dust it off very lightly. That just stops it from shrinking up. It could be a scratch, it could be a scar. It just depends where it's applied and how you paint it, really. Or you don't even have to paint it at all. You can just blend it so it just looks like you've got a bit of lumps on the skin.
That is incredibly light. It really does feel like a skin-like texture.
Okay, so basically these are a mould we actually cast yesterday. These are all actually made out of clay, so this is where the art comes into it. You have to mould these. Somebody has to actually do the artwork on it, so they have to create a scratch. They have to create, for instance, that's a slit throat, that's an open fracture and a scratch wound. Once they've been cast in clay, we'll put some silicone in them, we'll let that set, we'll take that out. We can then pour gelatine in these moulds and they will create a perfect replica of what we've made out of the clay. That can be reused again and again and again for all our silicone. So if you buy gelatine products, keep filling it and making as many as you want.
Are there many other companies across Nottinghamshire doing the same as you?
I don't think there's any in Nottinghamshire doing it. There are a few throughout the UK and quite a few throughout the world because obviously there is a market for it out there, otherwise people wouldn't be doing it. But we found that in Nottingham there's nobody else really making these as we do. There's a lot of makeup artists and some really talented makeup artists in the Nottingham East Midlands area. But nobody's actually making these casts and making them available for other makeup artists.
How difficult was starting up?
Really difficult. All the equipment and the tools and supplies are really, really expensive. So as a new business trying to start up, it was difficult. So you have to invest a lot of money into it yourselves, which is exactly why when we started up and we started making the materials ourselves, we wanted to put it at a really discounted price so other people can get into the industry just like we did.
Great idea. Josie, I'll tell you something, I've learnt an awful lot. And Steve, great meeting you as well.
Thank you. Cheers, thank you.
Ah! What? Oh my gosh, no! Now, the great thing about Nottinghamshire is that there's always small businesses starting up, from Kitty Café to Fake Up. We are here to report on them all.
And of course, the question is, when they're growing, where do they go to get help and advice if they want to export, grow their business? Well, Des, did you know, and I have a feeling you didn't, about D2N2?
No, I did actually know about D2N2.
Oh, you impressed me. The local enterprise partnership.
I don't know an awful lot, but I know about that.
It's got the worst name in the world. It's Derby in Derbyshire and Nottingham in Nottinghamshire. They're looking after the economy for our region with funds from the government, hundreds of millions of pounds worth of it actually. And they've set up what they call a growth hub to give businesses instant advice on how to grow. The local enterprise partnership has an ambitious aim to create 55,000 jobs, and every little helps. At its headquarters on Experian Way, it set up the Growth Hub, a one-stop shop for any business looking to expand. And to make sure it meets business needs, there's a business person on board.
My job is to help steer it and make sure we're doing the right things with my business experience to help businesses in the region. Many of the people that I speak to in business don't know where to go to get support. Yeah? They get emails all week from colleges or from different consultancies, and actually because they get that higher volume, they just ignore it all. So I think many businesses are looking for a place to go where they can trust the people that they're talking to get some good advice about how to grow their business.
So what kind of advice is on offer here then? What kind of help is there?
Well, our business has used much of the advice that the Growth Hub now offers. So it might be that a business needs help exporting, in which case the Growth Advisor could introduce them to UKTI. Most businesses sometimes need a bit of help with strategy to grow. So the Business Growth Service can offer help and consultancy in making sure you've got the right strategy at the right time for your business.
And Lindsay, give me an idea of some of the examples of people that you've helped then.
Yeah. Well, we've got, there was a small garage that was looking for sort of health and safety advice. So through the Better Business regulation, we can then sort of put them through to an advisor, whether that's a food and drink company as well. So whether they're looking at the environmental health issues, we need to then sort of direct them to the right geography and the right form of advice. So, and again, we've got lots of businesses looking for innovation. They don't actually call themselves innovative. They've got a problem, they need to solve it. We've got to understand that and then put them to the right place for university or technical advice as well.
The help's available for any business. There's no minimum or maximum size, but they do have one thing in common.
We're looking really at the ambitious businesses. Every business in the D22 area is available to be helped. We've got one-to-many new events and workshops, but I think it's just the limited resources, as we all know, so that we're trying to aim for the ambitious businesses. Doesn't exclude startups. It's those ones that are looking to sort of be more than a one-person band, more than a sole trader, but equally we recognise that the website has an absolute wealth of information, so that is the first point of call.
The LEP is hoping the one-stop shop style of the Growth Hub will help firms looking to expand get the information they need quickly and make the most of any help and grants that are available along the way. So good advice there from the Growth Hub, but someone I don't think needs all that advice actually is Kate, who set this whole place up. And Kate, I don't know, I was saying a few minutes ago, it's almost like the product of an insane mind, this place, if you don't mind me saying.
No, that's absolutely fine. I think a lot of people think I'm insane, to be honest, but hey, who minds about being insane when you've got cats?
And how's it working as a business?
It's working fantastic, better than we thought it could do. We thought it could be a huge success or just not at all. And luckily the people of Nottingham have embraced us because they're cat lovers.
And you and your husband have set this up. What were you doing before this?
Well, I used to work in social services in child protection, and my husband was a business owner, so he sold part of his business and we thought, hey, let's open a cat cafe.
And where did you get the idea from? Had you seen it before somewhere else?
I've seen them in sort of Tokyo and thought that they were a fab idea, but we're slightly different because we operate as a cat rescue. So you can come to us and adopt cats out, meaning that we can help more of the cats of Nottingham.
So these cats are all adoptable?
Yeah, apart from this one because she's mine, I'm afraid.
Who's this?
So this is Popcorn. She lives at the cafe and she just wanders around looking fabulous, so...
What was the kind of business model, when you set up? Who did you think was going to come here? Why did you think it would work in Nottingham?
Well, I know that there's a lot of animal lovers and there's people in cities that can't necessarily have animals because the living conditions aren't correct for the animals to be in. So it's a way of getting the cat fixers. There's also two fantastic universities, people that have left their cats behind that might want to come and just get some fluffy time in. But also we do have people that come here that have their own cats. We have a lady that comes here who has 14 cats and she comes on her day off to get more of a cat fix.
She can't get enough of cats.
Exactly. So it's anyone that really loves animals and loves cats, but it's also just a tranquil environment that you can come and chill out, even if you don't, absolutely adore cats. It's still an amazing place to be.
And what's it like going from being, a social worker to running a business?
It's like social working cats, to be honest. I've basically just gone from one to the other, in all honesty. It's got its own different challenges, different things that you have to keep on top of. But, we learn as we go and we're forever adapting. And as long as we're here for the cats and the cats are well looked after and the customers well looked after, then we're happy.
There goes another plate of food. Just proves that this is a thriving business. And what always amazes me, and I've said this before, is the ways people find of making money and making businesses. And who'd have thought it, a cat cafe?
Across Nottinghamshire, you'll find all sorts of business. And then the thing about Kitty Café, it's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kitty Café, Kitty... I can't even say it.
Yeah, it doesn't work, does it? But if you want to see more businesses like that, stay tuned next week when we'll be finding out more about the business life here in Nottinghamshire. See you then.
See you then.
Nottingham Trent University, working with you. Proud sponsors of Working Week.